to Through Our Lens, the podcast where we focus on empowering the African American community. I just want to tell my audience I'm so grateful. Thank you for liking and subscribing. God is good, y'all. And today I have my guest Malcolm S with me. This is family to me, okay? I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you this. Yep, this is mine. This my family, and I'm so grateful that he was so willing to come on my platform and share his testimony. So the title of this episode today is "The Walls Couldn't Hold Him," a tale of transformation. What's up, Malcolm?
What's up?
Thank you for coming.
Always.
Love you much. I just want to tell you I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. Now listen, I can't spoil it and let y'all know why I'm saying I'm proud of him, but we're going to get there, okay? We're going to get there. Just work with me. So let's go ahead. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
So can you paint a picture of your life before you entered the system?
It was, I was very young, so I was kind of, my teenage years, I was just kind of just, riding the wave of being like a superstar athlete, So, it was good, honestly. Looking back, it was a lot of good and, just in the life, in the culture, want to be a part of what was the trends and want to be a part of the game, want to be a part of just the people, how we do. And it was good. Hindsight, not understanding everything that would come behind, thinking everything was good. So it was good. Had a lot of fun. Had my son as a senior in high school, and went to college on a scholarship. Went to Kansas.
Wow.
Yeah.
You went to Kansas?
Yeah, I went to junior college, community college in Hutchinson, Kansas. Yeah, and I was very fortunate. God really was giving me a way out, and I really didn't see it. I didn't take advantage of the opportunity because in high school, like I say, I didn't have no offers, not because of my athletic ability, but because of I would say the lack of grades, behavior issues, and just being, into a lot of different things, and coaches really didn't want to put their face or push me to go to the next level because I wasn't being accountable and doing what I was supposed to do on my end. So upon graduation, I had no offers. I didn't even have no intent on going to college. Honestly, it was just like, because we come up in the era where your parents just graduate, get a job. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of had that mentality. I was trying to find my way. So I really had no vision outside of high school till last semester. The coaches, they came all the way from Kansas, drove to my mother's house and knocked on my door. Never spoke to them. They never contacted my family, never contacted none of us. They just heard about, matter of fact, Rock Hill High coach told them about me. And they just popped up at my crib one day. And they was like, we want to give you a scholarship. You're a heck of a ball player. And at the time, my mindset ain't right because, I'm in the streets. I'm involved in a lot of different things at the time. So I'm just like, yeah, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And I was just kind of playing both sides. Like, my heart, my desire was being a football player. But at the same time, I was at war with,
So you was straddling the fence. There's a part of you that want to do this, but there's a part of you that still want to indulge kind of in the street.
Right.
Like so many other guys.
Yeah, just like so many other people, and the former took more precedence in my life. So that's kind of what it looked like before prison, just playing ball, been an athlete all my life, grew up, in the things of God, come from a church family. I come from that generation where you ain't had no choice but to go to church. It ain't no option, my friend.
Oh, you going?
It don't matter what you do Monday through Saturday. Sunday morning, you getting up, player. So, yeah. So, it was, that's what it was. Great family, great support system. We didn't have it all, but it was just, founded on good morals. I come from that background, founded on good morals, how to treat people, and, love God. So, that's what my life looked like prior to getting incarcerated.
And I'm glad you're putting that emphasis on you come from a good family.
Yes.
Because what I need people to understand is the devil don't discriminate. So just because you come from a good family doesn't mean that sometimes things can happen. Negative things can happen. Because sometimes people put it on a family. Oh, he come from a bad family, or he come from a good family. The devil don't discriminate.
He don't discriminate.
He don't discriminate
at all. That
at
plays
all.
a part, but it's not the totality of why. Yeah, it definitely plays a big part. But, you know, when you get of age, now it's time for you to make the decision with the information you've been gave.
That's right.
And that's where we go wrong.
That's right.
You get of age and you go the way that you want to go. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what your background is or where you come from.
That's right.
When you get of age and you're going to make the decision. Because one thing I figured out when I was incarcerated, that it's so many people that's from the projects, from Section 8, from poverty, that's successful. Never been to prison. You know, mom was on drugs, dad was on alcohol. It's so many people that got that background and yet overcame that and became successful and never entered into prison. You know, so it's not all about
where you come from.
But it plays a part. You know, it gets a point in life where you gotta make a decision and you want to do something different.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what are some of the circumstances that led you down the path?
Like I say, a big part of why was I had a son, right? And I knew kind of the sacrifices that my father made to be a father to me. You know, he kind of let go of his career, you know, as being a ball player to like, yo, I'm going to be here for my son. So in my mind, that always stuck with me. Like, I always wanted to be president in my son's life. And granted, like I said, I had a good support system, a good family. They still allowed me to go to school and it's like, yo, if we got this, just go there.
Just go to school.
Yeah, just go to school and try your hand and see can you, you know, make it, you know. So I was still afforded that opportunity, but my mind, I wasn't focused because I was just always like, yo, I gotta get this paper, but I gotta take care of my son, you know. So it kind of translated to me becoming greedy, money hungry, and like I say, for the people that don't know, you know, the things that I was doing, the things that me and my crew was doing, we wasn't just like out here just like want to be gangsters, like want to be hard. Like we was pursuing something big in life, something more than what we seen, something that things that we never had growing up. You know what I'm saying? It was just about pursuing something bigger, and we knew the only way that we can make it happen is if we get the money. You know, so it was just all about getting the money. Securing the bag. Just securing the bag so we can do X, Y, Z. Because we had, like I say, we wanted to do, we was very aspiring kids. Like, we didn't just want to, you know, just like be nothing. But it's just like we wanted to do great things, but we just wanted to take our own route. Because I always had this thing, like, man, I see my pops, my mother work hard all their life. And for me, I'm like, yo, I ain't doing that.
You didn't want to do that.
I'm like, I ain't working no job, no 20 years. I ain't working no job, no 15 years. I ain't doing that. It got to be another way. You know what I'm saying? So that was the mentality, like, yo, I can do this and get that. Let's do it. You know, so a lot of the circumstance was just, you know, kind of mentally stuck in how we want to get this money.
So it never was that you and your crew were bad people.
No,
y'all just was looking for a way out.
We just wanted,
You didn't want to be the one that having to work for people, working hard because you seen that.
Right.
And you, in your mind, you're like, okay, I appreciate my parents for doing that for me, but I don't want to be that.
I don't want to be that.
I don't want to be.
Because we just seen generation to generation where so many people get stuck in that and that cycle, and that's all their life is about. You know, going to work, coming home, taking care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? And it's so much more. And I'm not against going to work, but how you work is the thing with me. You know, I think about, you know, my mind working for me versus me doing labors
for somebody else. That's right.
You know,
that's right.
And
so you had that vision then, even then you had that vision.
You know, because you gotta understand on a grander scheme, right, of the creation of God. you know, God created us to be successful. He created us to be prosperous. He created us to be innovators. He created us to create other things, right? So I always, like within myself, desired that greater because it was just always something in me that was just like, man, it's just so much more in life than what I see. I knew it was great things that can be obtained, within myself. And I think I never really knew how to express it. And I don't think that, now looking back, the people around me didn't know how to manage, a child that is very outspoken and expressive, and just a kid that that's very aspirations about life, because of the conditions that they came in.
Right.
So you be like, yo, I want to do XYZ. They like, they looking crazy because they like, man, how you gonna do this? How you gonna do that? Because it was never told to them that they can be great in life. So you just think about like when you come around somebody talking about doing something that's never been done, man, you ain't got no faith in them that they can do this because nobody told you that it was possible. You ain't even got faith that you can do something great. So how can you help me get there?
Right.
And it's like screaming for help led me to going out trying to do a bunch of different things and trying to do what I believed in myself that I could accomplish. Right. So it's just
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
It is deep. It's deep, man. And I'm just really glad that you gave me the opportunity to shed light on certain aspects of the deepness of why we and certain people stay in the same cycle and condition. Because all people are doing are passing information from generation to generation. And not all information is right.
That's right.
Times
are changing, so sometimes what worked then might not work now.
It's not. In certain aspects it isn't. So yeah, those are just a little bit of how I got to that place.
So what was the initial experience like becoming an inmate at such a young age? Can you think back to your first time like really going to prison and it's setting in like, oh man?
I ain't gonna lie to you, right? I had a roommate in the county, old school here from the projects, right? So I think I've been in the county like 9 months. He was like, young blood, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now, you going down the road.
He told you straight. He gave it to you straight.
You ain't going home, young blood.
He told you straight.
So he prepared me mentally for what I was going to.
So was it a part of you before? Because I deal with a lot of guys, the little young ones, and it's always, I know some of them not going home.
All right.
With some of them charges, I know. But I don't want to be the one to kill that hope for them.
Right.
Because they come to me, they be like, I talked to my attorney, like, I'm probably going home, and if I get a bond, they don't really know how it works. And I don't want to be the one to break that news to them babies.
Right.
So I just be like, yeah, baby, it's a part, maybe, maybe. But all along, I know, like, no, baby, you definitely.
You may go home one day, but it ain't today.
It ain't going to be no time soon with some of these charges you have.
Right.
But, like I said, I see the hope. Like, I see them still trying to hold on to their hope because once they get in, they like, oh, man, I don't want this. But they in it now.
You in it now.
So but I still see that hope that they're holding on to. And like I said, I don't want to be the one to really take that from them.
Right.
So I just kind of be like, yeah, baby, yeah, it's coming. You gonna go home. Yeah, it's okay, yeah. And then, to see them come in each time and they like, they call me Mom Dukes. I got so many kids. They call me Mom. They be like, Mom Dukes, man, they trying to mash me out. They say they'll give me like 15 years. And you can just see it. To look at a child who's not even an adult yet.
Right.
These are babies.
Kids.
That's done got themselves into some mess. I'll never be able to really put in the words, the look, the despair that when they talk to their attorneys and sometimes they get in this news, how they process it. Like, to the world, they look like they dangerous, they big, they this, they that. These are kids. These are broken kids.
Yeah.
Who just are misguided.
Yep.
Don't really understand the system, which is dangerous. Because a lot of times they don't get it till they in it.
Get it to you in.
Right. So what was that like for you once he told you that and you mentally preparing yourself?
I'm like I say, man, I always had you know, like this. I always had a strong mind.
That's good.
You know, like even as a kid, right? And it was cultivated through sports, being tough, being able to overcome how you feel at the moment to get this extra yard. You know, how you can, train through the pain to become better. So that gave me a mentality of fortify a strong mind. Like I always thought it was nothing that I can face or nothing that I would get in that I couldn't overcome. You know, I always thought like that. And, I honor my God first and foremost for giving me a courageous spirit, and I honor my father for cultivating it. To be able to, when I get in life, it ain't nothing that I don't think I can handle. You know what I'm saying? So when I got in it, it wasn't nothing that I thought I couldn't handle. It was more about accepting the reality that this was going to happen. And that I caused myself to be here. So when I kind of locked in on all those things, I was like, yo, let's go. Let's do it.
So you was accountable. You held yourself accountable
Then.
Because some people now, they don't be.
Yeah, I never been that.
They don't hold themselves accountable.
I've never been that guy. Even as a kid. Like, even when I got in trouble as a kid and I did stuff, I was always responsible and know that I did it. I was the guy that want to take the blame for the whole crew. Yeah, I got it. Y'all boys good. Like, somebody doing something, I'm going to take the blame. I'm going to get in trouble, let everybody else go free.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That was always my mentality because I knew then that I was a leader. And I knew that a lot of the things that happened, people did it because I said, okay, let's do it. Or they follow me. So I would always take accountability. I would always be responsible for a lot of things that I caused and a lot of things that I, did intentionally myself. So I never had an issue with that, So when I got the 15 years, it was just like, dang, I really ain't come process how many days or how long it was, but it was like, let's do it. So, it was like, it ain't no turning back now. I got to do it.
Did you initially know that it was going to be 15? Like,
because at first it was like everything. It was like 55 years. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, just being around, and my uncle had, a few years before he had went through the system and stuff like that. So I kind of knew a little bit of certain little things. Like I knew I wasn't gonna get 55 years. You know what I'm saying? But that was just how much time all my charges carried.
All together.
Yeah. So, and just like being in a system with charges like that for the first time, I knew that I wasn't gonna get like that much time. So like 15 years, because I got 15 years to spend 10, so I had to do the 10 and I do 5 years of probation. So like that was just like the best they said they could have did, and at that time, and like I was kind of ignorant to the system as well. I didn't know, no laws. I didn't know like maybe if I would have stayed in the county a little longer, I could have got a better deal.
If you would have waited it out.
If I would have waited it out a little longer, I didn't know that the time maybe could have got a little less of time. I didn't know all those things. I was just like, they was like, well, this is the best we can do, or you got to go to trial. I'm like, well, I ain't going to trial because I know I did what I did. Y'all got the evidence. I ain't even finna play with y'all people. Okay, let's go ahead and take this and let's go ahead and do what we got to do. And yeah, let's get this over.
So you took it.
Yeah. So
and how old were you when you?
I was 18 when I got locked up, and I got sentenced when I was like 19. Yeah, 19.
Wow. So you 19, and you get 15 years.
Yeah. So I did the 10, and I came home on parole. Yeah, because I was I'm talking about I was all over the place. I actually had a charge in Mecklenburg County, Charlotte. I had got into a little jam up there too. So they end up running those charges concurrent together, And at the end of my sentence in South Carolina, I had to go in North Carolina. I had to do it 1 year there in prison. So yeah, then I did like 2 years and some change on probation. And me and my wife, we came together because she wanted me to go on this trip to Jamaica, and we paid it off. And being that I had no infractions, I failed no drug tests, I ain't got in trouble none, they allowed me to pay the money and come off early. Yeah. So I've been just like free from the system now for like 3 years.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. Again, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
So, like, when you think back, what were your biggest fears and challenges? Did you have
in prison or life?
And during the time you were in prison.
Oh, in prison.
Like,
biggest fears.
Well,
Not making it out.
That's what I was wanting you to say. Because I don't think a lot of people understand how prison is for real.
Yeah.
It's a good chance you might not make it out.
Not make it out. And I done seen with my own eyes a few not make it out.
Don't make it out.
Murder right there. Mm-hmm. So it's, like I say, I never been one to involve myself in, like I never been a type of person that go look for issues. But when they come across my table, it's time to handle
But
business.
that's the thing what people don't understand. You ain't even really got to be looking for it.
You
ain't even got to be looking for it. Like, somebody could just wake up and have a bad day, and just because you might be right there, you about to get that.
Yeah, you about to get that.
Yeah.
It's just like when I went through Kirkland, right? Like, I got there that evening, the next morning, I'm fighting. Because the guys who there, they're going to try. I mean, you going to get on. Listen, you going to get tried. So you're going to have to stand 10 toes and handle your business. So everybody else know, like, if we gonna mess with this guy right here, you gonna have to go all the way.
You gonna have to set the tone.
Yeah. So I went in with that kind of mentality, based off of what old school told me in the county. You know what I'm saying? So when I went in out the gate. Yeah. You ain't even finna play with me. You ain't even finna try me.
For nothing.
I ain't going for nothing.
Because you have an audience. So now, if once you let this person slide, you got a whole, that's what we doing.
Listen,
so now everybody gonna be trying to slide, okay?
See, down the road, it's a little different from the county. If you let it slide down the road, you finna be washing somebody's clothes. You finna be holding somebody contraband and get caught with it and take the charges. You finna be cooking for people. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be a do-boy if you let it slide. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't even an option. We don't even come from that type of background from being in the streets.
But I don't think a lot of people understand the root, how it works. Because some people think, why you fighting? Why you just going in there wanting to fight? That ain't what it got to be.
Nah,
you ain't got to be looking for it. It'll find you.
It's gonna
and you're going to have to stand 10 toes down because you got an audience. And they're watching how you respond.
Yep.
So I'm glad that you said that.
Yep.
What were the harsh realities of the prison environment?
Violence. I got accustomed to violence. And and I can honestly say today I'm 100% free from it. 100% free. And it took me a couple of years, my mentality, right, my mindset, because certain things would happen like out here, and the first thought of my mind would come smashing, and I knew I couldn't do it, but the first initial thought would be like, just kill him, smash him out, you know what I'm saying? Because people don't understand, like, I became a man in this place, so my whole mentality and mindset was cultivated in this environment as a man. You know what I'm saying? From 19 to 27, I was in there. So it's not easy for me to come straight out and think like a regular
and
civilian.
Turn it off.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just grateful, man, that, God allowed me to have the people around me that he did, because they really worked with me, and I really didn't show a lot of how I was feeling and how I was thinking. You couldn't tell, because the people, I seemed normal, but mentally some days I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Because what we say disrespect is out here is different from what disrespect is in prison. So what somebody would do out here and be nothing, in prison it would get you killed.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So in certain instances I would experience certain things, and I have to catch myself. You know what I'm saying? just an example, like, you know, in prison, you don't talk to people in the kind of way. So out here, I see a lot. People talk to people any kind of way and think that that's just what it is. You can just talk to people and say what you got to say, and that be it. Well, in prison, you can, but it's gonna be repercussion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So now my mind, I'm like, yo, you talking to me like this, you don't even know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't even know where I come from. Like, the way you talking right now, it would have get you smashed a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to think like, boy, you ain't there no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coming to society with a prison mindset is what takes so many people back. Because you come out of prison thinking you're going to live the same way in society that you just live all these years in prison. And you can't do it. Because, like I say, what disrespect is in prison and disrespect in society is different. So if you come out in society and handle a situation how you handle in prison, guess where you going?
Right back.
Right back. Because you can do something to somebody in prison and nothing happen.
Mm-hmm.
All you do, you going to lock up.
Mm-hmm.
Out here, you're not going to lock up. Well, you're going back through the doors.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, yeah, the harsh realities of violence and, man, how it, you know, violence became normal to me.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
It did. Because the only way people respect you in prison is through violence.
I've heard that.
And I mean, you know, I'm not going to say it's an absolute truth, you know, because an absolute truth can't be changed. Mm-hmm. And I believe it can be changed if the hearts and the mindset of people change. Mm-hmm. But it's true when it comes to survival in prison, mm-hmm. that you're going to have to get violent sometime or another. And that comes with making it out. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes
that becomes survival? Is that what you're saying?
Survival.
Like, yeah.
It's survival. Because you got to understand what governs prison. Gangs. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's based off of violence and money. Whatever group of people has motion, we say. Whoever's getting the contraband, whoever got the money, whoever violent, gonna control the dorms. Mm-hmm. That's just how it go.
You're right. You're right.
So, for a time, like my first couple of years, I didn't understand this. I was just a kid. So all I wanted to do was smoke weed, drink yak, play ball, work out, get tattoos. But as I started getting older, I started seeing what was going on. Mm-hmm. I started seeing how it worked. And I became a part of it because now I'm like, yo, you can really get some mad money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I got into that system in their system. And yeah, the only way you're gonna keep someone has something is if you stand up. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, you know, you create a reputation where you ain't got to do nothing. You know, mm-hmm. and kind of reach that point, you know, 4 or 5 years in where I really have to, you know,
because your name travel.
Yeah,
that's what everything's traveling in prison.
Yeah, do because everybody got phones, so mm-hmm. it's like before you even get on the yard, they already know you're coming. Mm-hmm. You know, so yeah, there was some harsh reality that I didn't. I was like, boy, I gotta make it out. You know,
just want to make it home.
I gotta make it out. Mm-hmm. You know, whatever I gotta do to make it out.
Mm-hmm. So, how did it impact you mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? Did it evolve over the years? Because you know you went in young, but you kind of started to grow up.
It evolved.
So did it change like over time?
Yes.
How was it like when you first came into versus like the end where you like getting close to coming home?
When I came in, I was just aimlessly living. I didn't care. Mm-hmm. You know, because I'm like, man, all the time, man, I don't care about nothing. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't care about anything. You know, at that time, I was selfish. You know, I just didn't care. Whatever it was, that's what it is. That's what we're going with. However it happened, that's how it's going down. Mm-hmm. You know, and at the end, I was totally different. It's now looking back, like for people who listen, whoever don't believe in God, I'm telling you, the power of God, the Holy Spirit, is a real person, and He really works miracles in people's hearts if you desire it. And that's why people don't think God works. It ain't that God don't work. You don't really pursue Him.
Oh, That was bars right there, cuz. Say that again. Spin the block with that again.
Yeah, y'all got to do the double take on the camera because I was just flowing. I don't even know what I said or how I said it, for real.
That was bars right there, okay.
Yeah, it ain't that a lot of people think God not real or that he don't work. It's not that he's not real or that he don't work. A lot of people don't pursue him for real. You know what I'm saying? And then you pursue for a little bit, but when the realities of the harshness of life come, you stop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the moment where you got to keep going hard, and then he gonna reveal himself. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I learned at the end. You know, that God had softened my heart so much because I really pursued him. I started pursuing God at the age of, for real, 22. You know, and it was different events that happened in life and in prison that happened outside of, you know, prison and inside that I was getting into, because I ain't gonna tell you no lie, for like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I got in trouble all the way to the end. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't the same kind of trouble. You know, at the beginning, it was like I was doing a lot of stuff, waking up. Because at one time, they was calling me madman. I was mad at the world. You know what I'm saying? I was just waking up, just doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? And at the end, it was kind of like, this when I had got spiritual woke, and I knew that devil, the enemy, wanted to keep me there. And I kind of failed. I failed at that particular test. At the end, at like my last year, I failed that test. And you know, God was just showing me that all of me in certain areas hadn't died yet.
Wow.
Or that's what happened.
Wow.
Because I ended up getting into an altercation with this guy that I knew was being influenced by Satan to tempt me and to tempt my triggers. And he got me. You know what I'm saying?
You reacted.
I reacted.
And that's all the devil wants you to do. He just needs you to react.
I reacted, put my hands on him, and I got shipped right there. I got shipped right then and there to solitary confinement. At the end, right when I thought that I was good, right when I thought I was strong enough, right when I thought I had overcame this.
But that's why I think people need to understand you gotta die to your flesh daily.
Daily.
Because that flesh, man.
And don't ever think that you, and I ain't gonna lie, I had got so like, I had changed so much that I kind of started thinking like, well, I got this now. And God will never want you to get to a place to where you think you got it now, because now it becomes humanism and you become God. You know, in a sense of you the one, you know, that you got all power. And I think I started unconsciously thinking like that because I had made so much of a transition in my life. I thought that I had it. I thought like anything that come my way that I can overcome it. You know what I'm saying? And the ironic thing about it, I was overcoming this dude in so many times. It was so many instances where I just let him slide because he was just like, the guy, he was like a bully to everybody. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to bully everybody. You know, me at the end, I'm like trying to dodge this dude, yo. Because I see him like, boy, he don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Because now at this point, I done did 8 years. I'm chilling. I ain't got no point to prove to nobody. I'm chilling. I'm in my own lane. I'm just chilling. You know what I'm saying? So, in North Carolina, they don't know me. I'm an out-of-towner.
So your name not known anymore.
Yeah, so I'm not known. I'm just like a regular guy. So now it's like I got to go through this process all over again in a whole different state. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, guy, he just kept poking the bell, you know. And my partner, he was like, bro, just leave him alone, cause he was kind of young. You know what I'm saying? I think I was like 26, he like 24, but he had already done did like 8 years. Like he got locked up when he was like 16 or something. So he kind of got this little name, you know what I'm saying? He, you know, little bully or whatever, you know. So he just kept poking the bell on the basketball court. He found me hard, you know what I'm saying? I would just keep playing through it, just keep, you know. And then one day, he just caught me on the wrong day. You know what I'm saying?
In that flesh.
Got me and got him. You know what I'm saying? Me got him. And yeah. I was so disappointed in myself after the fact. Cause I was like, I let this trick me out my position, boy. Cause I was on a yard. I never been on a yard like this. I never been to like a level 1. This was like a level 1 North Carolina where I was at. You know,
they say level 1s are sweet. Is that true? I never worked at level 1.
Yeah,
they
level 1.
Sweet.
You don't got no fence. You know, you're not confined. Like you can go work leave and work on the streets. You know, it's different. So that's where I was, and I was like so free, but at the same time, I was kind of paranoid because I've never been in a place where I had to sleep amongst everybody. Like it was bunks, like in just open space.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you know
gotcha.
what I'm saying. So that kind of freaked me out at first. You know,
So it's not like where it's like a cell door. It's like a cell door. I mean, the door where the we can come in like the COs, but once you get in there, everything is open. Bay.
Everything's open. I ain't gonna tell you nothing like her. Man, I slept with my shoes on about 2 weeks straight.
But people don't understand like the trauma, especially when you coming from like different places. The trauma that creates in your mind.
Yeah.
So now but you still can't. You don't feel safe. You feel like you gotta
For
post traumatic stress. Like, oh, I gotta watch over my back. I gotta.
Yeah, it's all serious. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I slept with my shoes on by 2 weeks, up under the covers and everything.
And I know people think it's a game, but yeah.
Yeah, as soon as something happened, I'm jumping straight on the floor, shoes on, what's happening, you know? But, you know, like I said, yeah.
So, did you have any positive influences or mentors during those early years of incarceration?
Yep.
Who were they and how did they help you?
I did. I had a lot, but it's four that I like embrace. Like, yeah, I can look back and say them guys will guide me, you know. And those guys are, you know, I would give them a portion of the credit of helping me find God again.
You think God sent them to you?
I know He did.
He did.
He did. Because people don't think, it don't matter where you are in life. God got people in every area of life. Everywhere, God got people that's destined to help get other people back into understanding, pursuing God again. It don't matter where you are. God got somebody everywhere in life. Even in prison.
Even in prison.
Even in people, God got people. Not that He put them there, but He got people in there that represents Him. God got representatives everywhere in the world. You know, and it was, I'll never forget two of them. We call him Slab, but his name Bernard. And now looking back, guys that have a heart for God, you know, but it's like they still were struggling with their flesh. They still struggle, you know, with certain things. But the heart for God and the heart for people was there, and I seen it. And that's what God really showed me. We can never judge a book by its cover. You can never.
You bet. That's it.
Never.
That's it.
Because the same person you'll turn around will be the same person that's there to give you a blessing. Just because of how you think they look or what they're doing, what their behaviors look like. For me, and that's what changed my perspective about who God is and about who His people is. You know, because some people love God, but some people are not going to die to every area of their flesh. That don't mean that they don't love God. You know, it don't mean that they don't have, because God deals with intentions and heart. It don't mean that they don't have a heart of good intentions about what they're doing. It's just certain areas that they haven't submitted or yielded into God all the way. You know, and those same people that we think may not enter the gates of heaven may be the very ones there.
That's right.
And we may not be the ones there. You know? So it taught me, the same man was alcoholic. Helped me with my relationship with God. Because what he always did was every day he came out of his room, he had 45 years. You know, and he was only then like 20 at the time. What he would do always every day, he would come on the rock and preach about Jesus Christ. Every day. He'll do it with a cup of alcohol in his hand. He'll do it with a blunt in his mouth. But he was always consistent with what he believed, and that he believed that God was real and that Jesus Christ was the Son of God. And I would constantly hear this. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I came from this background. But when I first went in, I didn't want to hear nothing about God. I remember I used to call home, my mom wanted to pray for me. I started getting rushed off the phone, like, Mom, I don't want to hear this. So I kind of got to that place with God. Not that I believe, you know, but it's just, I was just mad at the world. You know, I was just so ashamed, and I felt so guilty about how everything went down after the fact, because, man, at the time, man, I was like a local hero. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many people supported me and believed in me with playing football. I didn't even understand, and I never knew that they believed in me. You know what I'm saying? But when it happened, I felt like I let the whole city down. You know what I'm saying? All of my peers, I felt like I let everybody down, and I just became real angry. You know. So yeah, Slab and another brother from Spartanburg named Rose. You know, he was doing 30 years. I think he caught 30 years when he was 30.
Mm.
So it was a lot of wisdom that he was able to give me about living life. Because like I said, he didn't catch 30 years until he was 30 years old. So he had already lived his life, had kids, had house, cars, you know, paying mortgages and just doing different things in life. And the last one was I met in solitary confinement on my last year when I got into the altercation in North Carolina. And his name was Stefan. We call him Face. And three people that always just talked to me about God and that God was real, you know, and it kind of ignited a desire in me to find it.
Mm.
So then I became a seeker at 22. I became a seeker at 22 with Slab, around Slab, you know, because then I had caught the Mother's Day of 2018. I had caught assault in the office, and I went to solitary confinement. And that day, I was just like, man, I'm just tired. I'm just tired, bro. I'm tired of getting in trouble. You know, because now I can't see my mother, my father. I can't see my son. They can't bring me because I'm always on restriction. You know, I might be on restriction for a year, have my visitations, my privilege for 90 days. Now I done got something else. So it was just like a cycle of not being able to see my family. Um, that really was just like, man, I got to do something different. And that's when I started meeting these people, you know, and that's when I started pursuing God for real. So I you know, I thank them for being true to themselves, even in the midst of still indulging in certain behaviors. They never was ashamed to profess and proclaim the name of Jesus Christ. You know, so that right there, they helped guide me as a young man. You know, in prison, they helped guide me. These guys, three of them, within that span. Yep, three guys that they helped. You know, expand my knowledge, my wisdom. You know, they just helped me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can't really explain, you know, to the depths of how they helped me, but they helped me so much, and they helped the man that I am today. You know, and I don't know if I'll ever, you know, see him again, but you know, I definitely got to get those guys their flowers. You know what I'm saying? Because those guys, like I say, Slab he's doing 45 years. You know, he 40 something, he got 20 something more to go. You know, and Face, you know, he was locked up since he was 15. He doing double life. You know what I'm saying? He never go nowhere. You know, if, you know, God don't grant him a miracle in this case, and you know, he be able to get it overturned and come home. So it's just, yeah, those guys, they really help shape my perspective.
God, that's love.
Yeah, it's love.
Man.
Yeah.
Looking back, what do you wish you would have known or understood before getting involved in the actions that led you to incarceration?
Looking back, I wish that I really understood the value of what it was to really be who God created me to be. I really wish I understood that, the value, because our convictions leads our actions. So I wish I knew what I knew now. You know, they say. But one thing I understood about God, the only way you really learn in life is if you discover the truth. And doing a lot of different things is a part of the discovery mode. You know, so I never would have figured it out. I never would have found it if I wouldn't have began to indulge in a lot of different things, because I would have never knew what was it if I wasn't on a search to find something. right? So when I say I wish I knew, I don't regret what happened because I never would have found the person I am today without it. You know, so I wish I would have understood the value of being a true king. I wish I would have understood the value of what it was to live in purpose and live with intention. And I, the greatest one that we all got to get. I wish I knew the value of my identity.
Oh, love that.
I wish those are things that I wish I knew then, because it guides your life. It gives you so much more direction, and not only direction but clarity when you know what you're living for and you know who you are. And it takes some people longer to get it, but now that I know, my children will not grow up without knowing who they are and know why they're here.
I love that.
You know, and
Yes.
we didn't come from that generation of our people knowing who they were and knowing why we're here.
Right.
It was just all about go to church, go to work, take care of family. But you're here to do much more, you know. And who you are, man, it's priceless. Knowing who you are, you know, knowing why you're here, it'll keep you. It'll keep you from so much. It'll keep you from indulging in so much trying to find yourself. You know, it'll keep you from contaminating your spirit. Because that's what happens when we don't know who we are.
You're right.
We start touching a whole bunch of different things. We start picking up a whole bunch of czar, blunts. We start picking up a whole bunch of drinks, trying to find ourselves in all these things. But ultimately, if we knew, we can just search within ourselves and find all those things. All those feelings that you're looking for from all those things is within you. And I wish I knew that. You know, that's what I wish I knew.
That's powerful. That is powerful. So, what was the turning point for you?
The turning point, like I say, that Mother's Day when I caught that charge.
After that,
my cousin Bullet got killed, and the situation happened with Jarrell. When those two things happened, and one of my best friends, Brandon, got killed.
so you was losing people.
Man, losing people, man. My grandmother died a month after I got locked up. My great grandmother, and I wasn't able to go to the funeral or nothing, you know. So it was just like deaths just started hitting real close. I was just like, oh man, you know, like the Jarrell one. That one was really the point to where I was like, something got to change. Something got to change, and it's me. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know, it's just, and I never questioned God in none of these things. But I just want to know why on certain, you know, especially the Jarrell one. I want to know why. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, man, I got to change my life. You know what I'm saying? I just got to change. So those events kind of start, you know, making me think, like, man, this life is serious. Life is not a game. You know, age, you don't got to get old to die. Because, you know, growing up, we didn't think about,
You're right.
You didn't think about death.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just living. But when I started, really, not that it wasn't happening, because it's always happening, but when it get hit close to your front door,
That's right.
you know, now it hits different, because now you know that it's real. It's really real. And when that happened to Jarrell, I knew that was really real, because to me, he didn't seem like a guy that deserved to leave this life at a young age, because he wasn't doing the stuff that I was doing. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't into, you know, he wasn't into negativity per se, or criminal negativity. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't into, you know, a lot of different things, you know, that I was in, and that's why I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I just never really understand.
It don't make sense. So do you feel like you experienced like survivor's remorse? Like you looking at all the stuff you've done and you like, I'm still here. And he hadn't done nowhere near. And he's not here.
All right, and it's like I just started looking back out of all the stuff, out of all the events that I made it through. You know, like even in the streets, you know, in the shootouts, being in different predicaments and things go wrong, being in car accidents, you know, like that one too. That one hit my mind too when I was in prison. I got into a accident. I was like 17, and the car flipped 4 times. You know, I was lost control of the car flipped 4 times, landed on the top, and me and my uncle, we got out, not one scratch.
And it flipped 4 times.
Flipped 4 times. Landed on the top of the car, right? So when I got in prison, I started looking back over. I said, God has always been with me. That's when it really hit me that God really protected me. Then I started thinking about purpose, that I was here for a reason, you know, and that's when that was all these things started happening, you know, and that's when I was like, yo, I want to recommit my life back to God. I want to live this way, you know. So the person that people see today, I became this person in prison. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just.
So a lot of the transformation took place before you even stepped out.
I'd already transformed. Like I say, it was just still certain behaviors that were still present. But my heart and my mind, I'd already turned away from all the worldly things, you know, worldly thinkings, and just doing life my own way. I'd already turned from all that. I was fully sold out with walking with God. You know, like I say, it was just certain behaviors that were just still present that I hadn't overcome at the time. But my mind and my heart, I was fully transformed before I even stepped foot here. Years before I stepped foot here, you know. So, yeah, like I say, I started pursuing at 22. Be 31 in a couple weeks.
God, and all this took place in prison.
All this took place in prison.
Wow.
All this took place in prison.
That's beautiful. So can you talk about, because I don't think a lot of people understand, like, when guys are behind the wall and they're losing people. What is that like, losing people, and you're there, you don't get to, you know, have your family, be surrounded by family to support you. You don't get to, like, go to the funeral. What is that like there?
For me, it made me emotionless. I had no emotions about it. You know, it just made me hard. Like, I know I would think about it. I may cry in the moment, but after that, it's like, it is what it is. You know, but for some people can't handle it. You know, it's tough, man. Cause I go ahead.
Do you feel like it hardens your heart
In
that environment?
It did, because it didn't affect me no more. It didn't affect me no more. You know, because the task at hand, I was just wanting to get through this time. And I knew I had to keep my mind from outside, because it'll drive you crazy.
I've heard a lot of people say that too.
If you just sit, because think about it, all the time that you got, majority of the time that you have is spent thinking. Right here. You know, so in my mind I settled early on that this is where I was, this is my home for now. I can't worry about things that I can't control.
On the outside.
It'll drive you crazy trying to control something from in prison that's going on in society. So I left everything in society and I became hard. You know, like even when I came home, I was still like that. You know, like, not that I didn't love people or care for people, but the way that I express it was different. You know, and I know a lot of people think like, you know, stuck up, or it ain't that. It's just the way that I train my mind to go through life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you. I may not talk to you in a couple of months, but for me, it ain't whether we talking or not. It's about a knowing, an inner knowing. But some people, they need you to check up on them every week to know that we still dogs.
Right.
That ain't me. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta hit me up. You know what I'm saying? For me to know that you're my partner. Well, how do I know you're still my partner? Because there's no situation, no event, anything that transpired that separated our relationship. So I don't need you to hit me up all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing has happened. You know, we haven't got into anything. So why would I be thinking that we're not friends?
So you still acknowledge that other people might need that, but as for you, you just saying you don't need that. That's not something that you need.
So it's a lot of things that I understood people need that I don't need, but because of who I am, I still got to give myself. And I don't expect for it to be reciprocated because I don't do what I do for you to anything in return. It's just who I am, you know. So I had to understand, like, I had to give of myself more now that I'm here. I had to be present because there, everything was just about me. It's about what I need to make it through the day. It's about what I need to eat to make it through the day.
So you had to learn how to take other people, like, how am I trying to say this? You had to learn to pretty much make things not just about you anymore.
About me.
You had to learn to try to care about other people and not just Malcolm.
And I was never caring about Malcolm with ill intentions or selfishness. And why I say that, because in prison, it is all about me.
That's true. You're right. That's true.
So me thinking about myself, I'm not doing it to not think about you. I just have to retrain my mind to know that I'm not isolated, that I'm not just trying to make it through this anymore, you know, and not that I got to do what I got to do to make it out. Because now I'm a husband, now I'm a father of 3 children, now I'm a minister within, you know, our organization. So, and that's why I thank God for entrusting me with all these responsibilities, because it's opening up so much more of who I am, and I didn't even know that I had the capacity to be this type of individual. Wow. You know, because I never had to be caring in prison. I never had to show compassion in prison. You know, I never had to wake up in the middle of the night to change a diaper in prison. I never had to give of myself. You know, and that's truly where you begin to operate in your divine nature, when you really begin to give of yourself and not want anything in return, you know. And yeah, that's what it was, what it is for that.
What were some of the internal battles you faced as you tried to reconcile your past with your newfound faith? So, what are some of the battles that you faced? Like, okay, you know, you was when you first you've been this, but now you transforming into this person.
I just sit in my mind that some people gonna accept me and some people not.
So you had to shift your mind to
some people gonna accept me and some people not. Why? Because of the way I look, because of my hair, the way I dress, my resume, my background, the debris that I got on my life. You know, so I didn't care about what people thought about me anymore. You know how people say when you get a certain age of life, when you get older, you start caring about what people think. I did that in my 20s. You know, I don't care about what nobody thinks about what I am doing. Not out of, like I say, malicious intent, but I'm free from people's opinion about me.
Oh, I love it.
You know,
I love it.
I'm doing me. I'm in my own lane. I'm at peace. I'm happy, and I know that I'm doing the right thing.
But in just being you have the ability to reach so many people that some people wouldn't be able to reach because now, you know, everybody want real.
Yeah. Right.
Don't come to me telling me about nothing. You ain't lived that. You ain't been that. You actually lived that.
And you know the thing, I didn't want to be that though. I never did. Those were never my intentions, to be looked at as, you know, what people deem or think I was or who I am. I never got in the game to be. I never got in the game to be that. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I just wanted to get the money.
You just wanted to get the money.
But when you start indulging into it, it's so many different things that come with trying to get the money. Because now you get the money, now you got to protect the money.
Woo! You better preach. Now you get the money.
Now you got to
protect the money.
So now with protecting the money, now something that I don't want to become, I become to protect something that ain't even mine.
That's deep.
It ain't yours.
That's deep.
Ain't nothing mine. You know, everything is the Creator's. So it's just, you know, I never want to be looked at like that. You know, and now even when people talk about stories of this happened, I'll be like, nah, and that's why I never really want to talk about this, because a lot of people talk about it from a point, from a perspective of glorifying. They went to prison, they did stuff on the streets. I don't care about none of that stuff.
Right.
Because that stuff to me don't make you real. You know, shoot somebody don't make you gangster, bro. Anybody can do that.
You're right. But even though you went through all these things, you'll have the ability, like little kids, like you could go to the hood. Now I might go to the hood. Them kids might, girl, stop. Girl, stop. But you can go to the hood, and these kids will listen.
And we going.
They'll listen.
We going.
And that's why I people need to understand, you just can't count people out. The world will throw people away.
And they have.
And they continue to do that. The same people that you throw away and you cast judgment on could be the same people that have the ability to transform somebody else's life.
And that's how God works. Yep. God take the foolish of the world, shame the wise.
So what specific steps did you take to actively work on your rehabilitation and personal growth once you got out?
When I got out? Self-development. You know, my personal development. I stay consistent with my pursuit of the kingdom of God. I keep God as a priority. You know, it's a priority. You know, just continuously educating myself, continuously being optimistic. You know, just open-minded. You know, teachable, pliable. Reaching out to different people that's doing and being where I'm striving to go. You know, and just for me, this journey is just about never ceasing to be a learner. So I stay in that learner's mindset. I always want to learn, you know, because I know knowledge is the key.
So you humble and you remain teachable.
Yeah, I got to.
Yes,
you know,
I love that.
I got to. You know, as a leader and a leader of people, you got to. Because you can never know it all. You know what I'm saying? So you always got to remain teachable. And you always got to be a learner. Because the people going to need something to know.
That's right.
So if I don't know nothing, I can't tell them nothing.
That's right.
You know? So that's what I use. God is priority, and I focus a lot on self-development. I focus on my personal development.
So what role did forgiveness, both self-forgiveness and seeking forgiveness from others, play in your journey?
It played a tremendous role because it freed me from guilt and being shameful. Right? So first I forgave myself. I forgave myself. And when I really forgave myself about, you know, squandering my career in football, I felt so liberated. I was free from a lot.
So you was carrying that?
I carried that because, like, that's all I knew. Shaq Williams, touchdown. Shaq Williams, interception. Shaq Williams, complete the pass. Shaq Williams, run for this amount of yards. That's all I knew. And when that ended, I had, it felt like it took the life out of me. And why? Because, and this is another thing that I want to ensure that people know, that don't place your identity within your gift. Because if your gift get taken away, then who are you? And that's what happened to me, because I was so athletic in with my talents in football. I was so caught up in being that guy that I didn't know who I was if that guy didn't exist. Right? So I didn't know who I was outside of football. And that's what a lot of people do in life. If who you are today was to cease and you had to do something different, will you still be able to maintain your spiritual wellness, your mind, your emotional, And I didn't, because something that I had wrapped myself up in got taken away from me. So I had no solid foundation on what I could stand on to keep pushing forward.
That's it.
So, yeah.
So what advice would you give to other young people currently incarcerated who are seeking a path towards redemption?
Pursue God. It's easier said than done. What I did to get here was, and this is what I tell a lot of people, and this is how I got here, and this is what I believe you really got to do. While you're in what you're in, meaning where you are, you got to pursue God from that location. No matter where you are in your life.
Jesus.
So what I would do was, I replaced my habits with God. So at the beginning, versus me waking up, smoking a blunt, and working out, now I started praying and reading. So that's what I mean by making God a priority. You got to make him first things first. And when I really started pursuing him, I began to be delivered from everything else that I was doing over the course of time. So that's how God's work. He only going to reveal himself to those who seek him. No other way. And that's how you're going to find stability and harmony within your soul and your spirit and your physical self. So I would tell anybody where you are. It don't matter if you're smoking, drinking, you watching, you doing anything, whatever you're doing. If you want your life to transform, start pursuing God from that place. A lot of people got the mentality, when I stop doing this, I'm going to get right with God. It's never going to happen. You got to get with God while you're not right.
He'll meet you right where you are.
He going to meet you right there. You got to get with God right where you are, not when you get right, because you're never going to get right without him.
God, so much.
So it's...
Malcolm, you preaching today.
That's what I do a little bit.
Yes, look, I was about to shout. I felt a little shout. I had to get it together. Look, girl, you the host. Get it together.
Yeah, that's for anybody. That's for everybody. Anybody who in life, not just prisoners. You got to get with God wherever you are.
So can you describe the work you do now and the impact you hope to make on the lives of others?
The work I do now is we building True Kings. I don't know if you heard about it, but
I did. You know you felt. I done seen you.
Right. So True Kings, it was a vision that it was inspired by God in prison, and he gave me.
So you came up with this in prison?
Yeah, I've been doing like the merch and all that stuff.
Wow.
That's why I like the merch. I first started off, it was called Legendary One, right? So, like, creating clothes and merch and stuff like that, I started doing that in prison. Like, I told you I would start getting money and stuff like that. So when my roommate, he was like, bro, you gotta, get your money in something legit. So, I don't know, the first thing my mind did, because I love fashion, I'm a fashion guy, I love to dress. So, man, it's just so much, man. I can talk about this all day, for real. But he was like, man, you got to get your money something else. So then my baby mom, my wife now, King, girl.
That's the wifey. Hey, cuz.
You got to give baby girl a shout out. But so that's what I would do. I would send money back and like, baby, create this outfit. Get these t-shirts made and start selling them. So we've been doing that since like 2018. You know what I'm saying? From my
so you've been on that.
So I've been on it, right? Just kind of got away from it, But why I believe God, allowed me to change it, because Legendary One, it was based off of really drug money, fraud money, and about me.
So the foundation wasn't right.
The foundation, it wasn't right. It wasn't built on the right principles. It wasn't built, right? So true kings is built from God, because God tells us that we are kings and priests in earth, and it's not about gender, but it's about delegated authority and position. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You know, we are all little gods in big God's earth, right? So the revelation of knowing who I am, I'm a true king, and I got that on my 25th birthday. I'll never forget that I woke up that morning, my routine. Like I said, I'm 25 now, and I got the routine, waking up every day, 4 in the morning, praying and reading. So this particular morning, I did the same thing on my birthday, and I just heard it loud and clear within my spirit that I'm a true king. Because like I said, I've been reading all this information, reading it, not really understanding much of it, because that's how God works. You're not gonna you consume a lot, and He gonna reveal the understanding of it in phases, And that particular morning, I heard it, true king, So then I began to write the vision and make it plain.
So you start writing it down.
I started writing it down, and I'm gonna tell you, and I hate that I did it. That the enemy, when I came home, the enemy was fighting me so bad. I got so frustrated that I threw away everything that I had wrote in prison. I was so frustrated with life, trying to figure it out, trying to make what I seen, what God showed me in prison, trying to make it happen all at one time, and it frustrated me to the point where I thought I had to start over again. So I threw everything away. Like
you threw everything away?
Everything that I wrote in prison. Wow. I threw my whole notebooks. I threw everything away. I threw it all away. So, and yeah, I was just shocked by that. But, me pursuing God, He brought it back. It's like, okay, just refocus again. So, yeah, True Kings is rebuilding. And it was founded on seeing a lot of broken men incarcerated. So I wanted to build something where we can educate the male figure. Because this is what I know. When the male figure understands his divine nature and his godliness and his kingship in the earth, communities and societies begin to change. When the male get it.
When the man get it, you better say,
the man is the structure and the foundation of the home. And that's why it's so broken, because the man is not present in the home. Right. And if he is, he don't know who he is. He don't know why he here. So that's what we building. A safe environment, an educational environment. We building a resource center, so we will be able to have the tools to educate and give the resources for males to be successful.
Look at God.
That's the beginning, but that is not all that it what's the word I'm looking for?
Entails.
Entail.
Yeah.
That's not all that it entails, right? It's so much more. But that's the vision at this point, building that environment for young men and males, period, to grow and evolve and become educated, to know that they're true kings, no matter what they've done, no matter what background they come from, no matter what they're doing, no matter their color, no matter what ethnic group you come from. This is who you are.
This is who you are.
And I'm going to treat you like this is who you are, no matter where you are. I'm going to talk to you like this is who you are. Because think about it. God never talked to us about us where we are. He always talked to us where He wants us to be.
Okay, now you keep on. I promise you I'm going to shout.
Nah, don't shout. Don't.
Yes.
But that's how we got to do. You always got to talk to the spirit of a thing. So it can become. You can't talk to the negativities to the person. Oh, you doing this wrong. Oh, you always doing this. Oh, you this, you that. Now you got to speak life into what you want it to become.
That's right.
And so that's True Kings. That's what we founded on. Speaking life, training, educating, and creating more True Kings. That's it.
I love that. So what does becoming a man of God mean to you personally?
Personally, my father wrote me a letter. Well, he didn't write it, he typed. When I was at Kershaw, right? And he said 3 things that I live with. And I pass down to my son. That real men love God first. Real men love their wives. And real men love their children. So a man of God, to me, that got to be your foundation.
Mm.
Me personally, because I have children, I have a wife.
Mm.
If not, then loving God got to be your foundation. Pursuing God. So that's what a godly man is to me. Loving him, pursuing him, loving my wife, pursuing her, and loving and pursuing my children.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what is the main message that you would like people to take away from this interview?
That no matter what has happened up until this point, you can redirect direction that your life going in today. And give yourself grace, because it takes time. You know, and a lot of people get out the race because it doesn't happen today. You know, and it takes time to become. You know, it takes time for habits to be uprooted. You know, it takes time, but I believe if you spend your time willingly and intentionally trying to change, you'll forget about how long it's taking.
Oh, God.
You know? So it's that willingness and that intentionality that takes your mind off of, oh man, it's taking a long time to come to pass. Oh man. You know? And to just seek and discover who you are. Because I'm telling you, I don't care where you from, where you at in the world, your life will not transform the way that you want it to transform if you do it and try to do it without being guided by God. Because it's an inner fulfilling that your spirit needs that sometimes our mind can't even articulate, because we were created in the image of God and in His likeness. So our spirit man is always yearning for Him. You know, and the only way to fill the voids is if you get the voids from Him. Because you were created to return and be in His presence. You know, you was created to return back to Him, ultimately, you know, in this life. And I want people to know that it can happen today. You know, we was all came up in the time period in the generation where, you know, it was all about it being a weight, or we were experiencing when we get to heaven. You know, I debunk that truth. That the Bible says that the kingdom of God is near. It's here right now. You can experience heaven right now today. You know, and that's what I want people to know, that it's here and it's now, and it's available for anybody. But it doesn't happen, and it won't happen without your pursuit of it. You know, so that's what I want people to take away from it. No matter where you are, no matter what happened, you can experience the life that God wants you to experience here and now.
And now.
But the fullness of it takes time, you know, because I'm experiencing a lot of it now, but not all of it, but not all of it, right? So it's my faith and my hope that that keeps me going, you know, and it's just Him revealing Himself through other people that keeps me going.
That keeps you going.
Because this is what I believe. Even if it's not happening, this is how I know God real. Because even if I'm not experiencing a particular thing about or within the realms of God, I know somebody is. Even though I may be, you know, dealing with something right now, I know somebody isn't. That's pursuing God. And that's what keep me going. And that's how I know He real. Because we're in two different places, but you experience God on levels that I haven't yet. And I can see it. So I know that He is real. Even though I haven't yet, that doesn't mean that He's not real.
That's right. That's right.
That doesn't mean that He's not working.
That's right.
Because somebody is experiencing it.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Yes. The
That's
kingdom
right.
of God, the kingdom of heaven is here right now.
Well, I just want to thank you. And I want to tell you again, I'm so proud of you.
Mm.
And I just want to tell my audience, like, if you have a loved one who is incarcerated, don't let the enemy trick your mind into thinking that God still doesn't have a purpose for them. Don't let the enemy trick your mind into thinking that even though they're confined, that God can't get to them. I know it's some mothers out there struggling. I know it's some fathers out there struggling. I know it's just some families out there struggling. But understand, it's no place where your child could go where God can't get somebody to him. He might can't get you to him, but he'll send people. And look at the finishing product. Well, this ain't even the finishing product. Let me rephrase that. Just look. This was a gentleman who has been incarcerated, but look at him. Look at the residue of God on him. And again, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I love you, family. I love you. I'm looking forward to you coming back. You gonna come back?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, we got them on. Listen, y'all heard me say yes now.
Yeah, for sure.
But to my audience, please continue to like and subscribe. I love y'all.